Well, Nancy, you'll have a word first.
Dear Lord, thank you very much for this day, and thank you very much for the opportunity to come here and assemble. We ask that you will bless the meeting and bless the people bless the leaders of our community, and bless the people they represent. We ask in your name.
We have accepting the minutes of the court meeting, and that's just one. And the date is 8/24/15. Motion to accept.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
I don't see any of the Dogtown people here yet, so we'll move on. Petition Dogtown Road.
That's all right,
Do
quick.
you have that? I'm going to read that.
Whereas Martin County Fiscal Court is responsible for the acquisition and maintenance of county roads designated as such in Martin County, Kentucky, and whereas a list of which is attached hereto as Appendix A are hereby designated and determined and adopted by the Martin County Fiscal Court as county roads as defined in KRS 178010 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, and shall till further action of the Martin County Fiscal Court or the operation of law remain as a county road for the purposes set out in Chapter 178 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes. Passed in open court by the Martin County Fiscal Court. Appendix A, Alley Lane Extension, Keener Lane, Tiny Point Road, Penny Lane, Clyde Horn Road.
Motion to accept.
There's one more on there too. One more. Paul Davis Lane.
No, it's not
Paul
on mine.
Dials. Paul Dials Lane.
It's not on mine.
Yes, on here.
Well, let's cut yours off.
I may not. Paul Dials Lane.
Here.
Before we take a motion on this, I'd just like to ask who were the individuals who went up and viewed the roads?
Mike and Joe.
And do you know that they looked to make sure that they met the statutory requirements?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Co-service resolution, do you have that?
Adoption of a resolution of the Martin County Fiscal Court authorizing the following projects as established in House Bill 235 and enacted by the 2014 General Assembly to be funded in the priority order listed below via release and availability of single county coal severance funds. Whereas Kentucky General Assembly in 2014 House Bill 235 appropriated funds from the Local Government Economic Development Fund for specific line item projects, and whereas because the General Assembly did not assign prioritization among the line item projects authorized, it is necessary for the county to assign such priority in order for the funds to be dispersed in an orderly fashion. And now therefore be it resolved this 24th day of July 2015 by the Martin County Fiscal Court, the Fiscal Court hereby assigns for administrative purposes priority among all HB 235 line item projects authorized for Martin County in the following manner. Family Resource Centers operation in the amount of $30,000. Martin County Courthouse debt service in the amount of $700,000.
Motion.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Yes, yes,
Who
yes.
seconded that?
I would.
Josh did. Resolution to designate of applicant agent, and that would probably be Lynette on the fair housing thing.
This was the fair housing resolution that I worked with Libby Ratcliffe on getting from the Big Sandy Act.
Liz, that go along with that, the applicant agent?
No, this is
It's two separate things, I think, that needed to go before court. Fair housing was one, but Title VI was the other thing.
Title VI, is that the applicant agent?
Yes.
Huh? So we have a resolution for that too?
Well, there's a statement of assurances that I have sent over for that. And then there's a adoption of the Department for Local Government's Title VI implementation plan. And along with that, Judge, the appointment of a Title VI coordinator.
That's, I think that's what that she meant when she picked this
Okay.
applicant agent. I know applicant agents for FEMA projects too, but this is for that coordinator, you think?
Right.
I believe the coordinator part, if I'm not mistaken, is page 16 of the packet.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Applicant agent, please.
Yes, this one's the disaster This is page 16 of the Title 6
Okay.
in the paperclip section.
Read the applicant agent.
Be it resolved by the Fiscal Court of Martin County that Aaron Lee Gauls Jr., Director of Emergency Management, is hereby authorized to execute for and in behalf of Martin County Fiscal Court, a public entity established under the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, this application and to file it in the appropriate state office for the purpose of obtaining certain federal financial assistance under the Disaster Relief Act, Public Law 288, 93rd Congress, or otherwise available from the President's Disaster Relief Fund. That Martin County Fiscal Court, a public entity established under the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, hereby authorizes its agent to provide to the state and to the Federal Emergency Management Agency for all matters pertaining to such federal disaster assistance, the assurances and agreements printed on the reverse side hereof.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Now, fair housing.
Just read the resolution?
Yep.
Or the resolution?
No, you don't have to read, just the resolution.
Just the resolution needs to be read, and then I think we have to have a motion on appointing on page 16, or you have to nominate.
Okay.
Fair housing resolution. Let it be known to all persons of Martin County, Kentucky, that discrimination in the sale, rental, leasing, financing of housing or land to be used for construction of housing or in the provision of brokerage services because of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin is prohibited by Title 8 of the 1968 Civil Rights Act Fair Housing Law. It is the policy of Martin County to implement programs to ensure equal opportunity in housing for all persons regardless of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1968 expands coverage to include disabled persons and the family with children. Therefore, Martin County does hereby pass the following resolution. Be it resolved that within available resources, Martin County will assist all persons who feel they have been discriminated against because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or family status to seek equity under federal and state laws by filing a complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing, the Urban Development, Office of Fair Housing, Equal Opportunity Compliance Division. Be it further resolved that Martin County shall publicize this resolution and through its publicity shall encourage owners of real estate, developers, and builders to become aware of their respective responsibilities and rights under the federal fair housing laws and amendments and any applicable state or local laws or ordinances. Said program will at a minimum include printing and publicizing of this policy and other applicable fair housing information through local media and community contacts, distribution of posters, flyers, and any other means that will bring attention of those affected, the knowledge of their respective responsibilities and rights concerning equal opportunity in housing, and prepare an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice and actions to mitigate such impediments. Adoption of the Martin County Fiscal Court this 24th day of September 2015.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Now, we have to appoint a coordinator.
I believe so.
Any volunteers? I'll do it.
I'd second the motion.
Got a motion
I'll
and a
make that
second.
motion.
All in favor? It's just coordinator if somebody, if they feel they've been discriminated against, they come see me. They come see me anyway. All in favor?
Aye. Yes.
Surplus sales, we got a bunch of police cruisers and whatever junk that we can find down at the road and bridge. Of course, you all know there's not none, but motion to have surplus sale.
Motion.
So now, what
Second.
did you say was going to be sold?
All those police cruisers I know, we got like a bunch of them, motorboat up, transmissions out of them, just junk.
Okay.
And then if we have any, just
Anything else?
umbrella, anything down to the road bridge, and I'll present you all this today.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Set the motor vehicle tax rate. The tax rate will be 14.5. After doing research on this, that the General Assembly in 1982, believe this or not, passed some sort of a law that whatever our tax rate was January 1 of 1983 could never be raised above that mark. Now, that still leaves us Floyd County 19.7, Johnson County Martin County 17.1, and I think Johnson County's about the same as ours. So 14.5 will be our motor vehicle rate. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Reappoint Housing Board, everybody's term has expired, everybody but one has expressed an interest, so I'd like to recommend Susie Skiles, Mike Crum, James Ayer, Blanche Pemberton, Leanne Runs. Leanne Runs is 4-year term. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
HUD housing payments, this is a HUD loan program that we've had for several years, and we've not had any applicants recently, but they have just now got it down to where they can figure out what people owe, who's paid, who's not. And Lynette, we probably need to look into a way to get this money collected. You know, it's not, we have probably 5 or 6 people that pay faithfully, then we probably have 10 or 15 that either sporadic or don't pay. So I like to have Oxidations Court to have Lynette checking in a way to start paying this money.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Personnel, like to recommend, I was going to do the dog warden at the top because he's getting so much overtime. We need to move him to full-time. And then we need 2 part-time dispatchers. One is
Renee,
Renee Hughes and Christy Hunt for part-time dispatchers.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, second.
Yes.
Second.
Executive session, I have to go in and advise you all of a lawsuit, actually 2 lawsuits that we have, and we'll do that. We'll be just in a little bit. Motion to go to executive session.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Lee, you could tell the chief of the
Motion come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Let me back up. Let me advise the public that we discussed a couple lawsuits that we have that we received last week, and no action's been taken. We're going to contact our attorneys that our insurance has assigned to us, and we're going to have them over. I want to back up to item 3 on your agenda. Dog pound. Guys, we got a great group of girls up there helping us. They're doing a wonderful job. But, there's always a but on that. We can't be full. KRS says that we have to pick up spraying.
Right.
And we've been told that it's full, we can't take them. So we're going to have to come up with something to get those volunteers to work with us. You know, we're kind of running a no-kill shelter right now. It's not quote as no-kill, but basically we have a no-kill shelter. Now, when we've got 28 dogs up there and we've had them for 2 weeks, and believe me, we get calls every day about dogs. So what's your all's thoughts on?
I think it's the dog warden. We sent him to school to be the dog warden. I think it's his job to go out and pick up a dog. If somebody got a dog and they want him to pick it up, he goes and gets it. These people, if these volunteers are bringing all these dogs in from everywhere, they're just going to have to quit doing it till we get a call on them, because we can't handle it. We can't handle the overflow of what's out there. But I think we're supposed to be taking them dogs off and having them euthanized after what, 15 days?
No,
7 days. 7 days.
7 days.
But we'll keep them up there for months. And then you got, if you're gonna keep the same dogs up there for months, how you gonna pick up the stray?
Okay.
So,
So,
send them off.
do you all want to say, let me meet with them and say that, guys, we got to have some help here. After 15 days, these dogs have got to go.
Well, yeah, that's fine, man.
I mean, you know, nobody wants to kill dogs, but still, yeah. We're bound to the KRS, aren't we, on that?
That is correct.
We have to take them up,
Right.
and we have to dispose of those dogs. Now, they've really done a great job on getting them adopted out, and them everywhere in the country, but still, yeah, it comes a point in time, we can't be full.
That's right.
So I will have that conversation with them.
We need to talk to them too about, I read in the paper where they said they're gonna put up surveillance cameras, no trespassing sign, prosecute people. They cannot prosecute somebody that's going on county property. They don't own it.
Well,
Them
I think
volunteers
more or
don't
less
own
they're
it.
having some vandalism problems up there.
Who would wanna steal a dog? Can't give them away.
There's some of them that will do that.
That's true. If I may, I believe that Mr. Maynard has drafted a waiver for the volunteers to sign. I don't know that it was included in the packet, but just if they are volunteering.
They're at the judge's office.
They're at the
Teresa
judge's.
has them.
Okay. I would just recommend that if they're volunteering, we'd have them sign a waiver saying.
I
No,
think-
the letter y'all.
The
Yeah, we
letter
have to
is.
do it, but the
there was a
waiver's in there.
separate-
We have a letter, we don't actually have the waiver itself.
And I would strongly recommend that if people are going to volunteer, we are very thankful for their services.
Definitely.
But that they, inside the waiver, it also included that they would follow the directions of the dog warden.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Say they don't want to sign.
Them stay at the house.
Basically,
Well, if, the waiver is to hold us, not responsible for their injuries. Like when kids play sports or things like that, that's usually what happens.
Well, I think, this fiscal court has expressed good faith effort in working with that group. And like I said, it's a needed service, from private enterprise. But as a public agency, our main concern has to do with, public safety.
well, it bothers me, and I guess I can talk pretty plain, you generally do anyway, but it bothers me when you have an individual that would veer away from hitting a dog and hit a child. Now, is there something wrong with this picture?
Yes.
I mean, for me, it's gonna be a bad day for the dog. I'm not gonna veer away to hit a kid.
That's
I
why I
mean-
say get rid of the dog we got up here. So we can go out and catch these dogs
Well, you got a situation on that situation.
on that situation.
We've done it before, guys, in the same location. Victor can tell you, go down there and pick them up, and then they're pounding my door down, you picked up my dog. So the people complaining may not on it, but now I guarantee the neighbors do. So with that said, I guess we'll get them in here and I'll talk to them and see what they say. If it takes court action to do something other, I'll be back.
Okay.
Motion to pay the claims list,
Motion. Second.
all in favor.
Yes.
Appropriation and cash transfer list,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor. And motion to government center expenses,
Motion.
second.
Second. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Anything else, anybody in the audience need to come before court? I have a couple more things, guys, and we'll be through shortly. Anybody?
Hi. First of all, thank you for giving me this time to speak. I'll try not to waste your time.
What's your name?
My name is Sarah Ward, and I'm a resident of Beauty.
Mhm.
Now, I don't expect you guys to pick up the phone and get this problem taken care of, but I'm asking you to fight with us, because I'm coming on behalf of everyone in this county. This is over the electric problem. So the electric company has failed to keep their end of the bargain up. Winter is coming, and many like myself heat with electricity. Now, with the poor maintenance of the lines throughout the year, winter becomes quite a fearful time of the year because you don't know how you're going to keep warm. A couple things. Number one, the electric going out constantly. This has become a problem that I've lost count of, and many in this county are also tired of it. Our lines are not maintained. Like there in Beauty, when we got hit by the tornado, they said those lines were temporary. They're still there. Now, this is not just a frustrating problem, and I know all of you have experienced it more than you should. This is also a costly problem. Many people have to replace much needed appliances like refrigerators and stoves, furnace units and whatnot. And we're already impoverished here. And it becomes a slap in the face when you're paying your electric bill, electric goes out constantly. Now you have to replace your fridge, or you go hungry until you can replace it. So that's ridiculous, I think, and it's almost should be criminal if it's not. Now, our the electric company raised the cost of the bill to maintain the lines better. Say to come cut trees out of the lines, whatnot. Well, when is that going to be done? I'm still waiting. Up my road alone, you can see lines buried in the trees. A couple years ago, I had a friend climb a tree, and he touched a line, got electrocuted. They were surprised that he lived. What if that were a child? He would have died. And I think it's ridiculous that the electric company has been allowed to continue down this path. Our bills increase, but yet the quality of our services decrease. And I'm asking you to take a stand with me and the rest of us in this county against this issue, because it's gone beyond ridiculous. When I tell people that aren't from here about this issue, they say move. Well, moving shouldn't be the solution. And we pay our electric bills, and we should get the service we paid for, the service that they tell us that we are going to get. You know, if they're going to increase the bills to cut the trees out of lines, then do it. I've yet to see that. There are lines that are hanging so low that if you jump up and touch one, that's dangerous. Another issue is when the power is flickering on and off. Some of us can't be home all the time when this happens to get the breaker box. It becomes a fire hazard. And I'll tell you, when I'm not home, when there's no one there, I am scared that the electric's going to start flickering and my house is going to burn down. I know I'm not the only person in the county with these issues. And we have to go to our state representatives to fight this, to fight the electric company. And I'm asking you to give me some validity by fighting with me when I go to the state representatives about this. Because this is ridiculous, and we deserve better here, and it's time that it change. I mean, don't you guys think it's ridiculous? The quality service with the electric company? I mean, a lot of us depend on water when the electric's on. That's how we get our water. If it's out, there goes your water. It doesn't matter if we're under a boil water advisory or not. You got flush toilet, you can't, electric's out. I've had to replace multiple heating units in my water tank because of the electric going on and off. And it gets costly. And I think enough is enough. And I'm urging you to take a stand with me, because this isn't just something that affects me, and this affects all of you on the board. This affects all of us. And it's time that we say enough is enough and we do something about it. And I hope that you agree with me.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. What we could probably do as a starter is draft a letter to the president of AEP, whose office is in Frankfurt. I know him. We'll draft a letter to him, and let me tell you something frustrating. Is back in the spring, this is no lie, around here in town our electric went off 5 times within 2 weeks. Okay? 4 of the 5 times, do you know where it was off at, where the problem was? In my front yard. My pin-up trees, if anybody's been by my house, I have 39 of them. And they ain't been trimmed. And it took the electric going off 5 times and 4 of them been in my front yard before they come and trim it up, so we ain't had a problem. So I can see that if they could do the work, it would be a big, huge difference. That
You know, it's just like the lines that they replaced after the tornado. They told us that those were temporary. Why are they still there? If they're temporary, temporary is like a month, 6 months at most, but not, how many years has it been?
2.
And it's absolutely absurd. We've got lines that are buried in trees. I've got nephews. My 8-year-old nephew is dying to climb trees. And I am terrified for him to do so because I don't want him to die. And you that have children, I don't want your children to die. No kid, no one should get hurt because of this. And as I said, it's just ridiculous. And enough is enough. We got to do something. So thank you.
We'll draft a letter to
Thank
Mr.
you.
Polly and
I know
voice our concerns. And I'll let Lynette fix up something for me. And
I'll draft a letter for you to Mr. Polly. And you want me to ask for like a follow-up within, 2 weeks for him to address?
I know what you're talking about. I live on Rock House, and we have about 3 miles of power line that feeds Rock House. It comes from over at Middle Fork through Saltwell, and it goes through more or less just wilderness. There's no roads or anything. And we, in the wintertime, a lot of times lose power, and we're 4 or 5 days getting it back on. Kelly, I know he's got a lot of complaints from over there too. And there's, as far as I know, I don't know if they've ever trimmed the trees.
I don't know if anybody knows.
See, we're part of Tomahawk is on Kentucky Power, and that's what I'm on, Rock House is. Then part of it's on Big Sandy RACC.
We need to hit
They
all
usually
of
get to you
them.
soon.
PGA tax.
So,
The problem with the power, not only the power outages, is they're working on a system that, you know how they find out when power's off?
When it goes off.
They
Somebody
drive
calls?
around and look at poles. They have no more technology than they have to drive around, and then where he's talking about, they have to walk. Now, they're working on a system, you'd think this technology this day and time, they're working on a system that will pinpoint an area, would be a tremendous help.
I agree, and I also think that they need to come out and replace lines that they should be replacing when they get damaged. I know I'm probably on a list at the electric company because I've called over 100 times about this issue, so.
You're not talking PSC?
I didn't know who I should talk to exactly, so I was calling from where it says on my bill, so, and,
Public Service Commission would be a real spot to start.
all right, and we'll go there, thank you.
Is Asplund, I don't know what to say, is that the contractor for
Yeah, there's
Kentucky
two
Power?
now. There's
Asplund.
Right.
Right, and that's Aspen.
Yeah, right tree service. Anybody else come before court?
Yes, my name is Myrtle Fee, and I've been here before. I have a private drive up on Coldwater, and where the 665 went through there, Route 40, and we've been having problems with that for about 6 years now. And the state went through there and took part of the cemetery, and the gas company went through there and went up on the cemetery, and they got a big valve there. And we've had them in court, and somebody gave them an easement, which was Lisa's estate, and she gave them an easement. And she was here in this court about 3 months ago, and she said she had joint property there. There's no joint property up our right-of-way. We have a private drive. And she also had PTA, the tax place over there, put a 911 call up that way on my private drive. And she's got a Becca Lane. It's not a Becca Lane. And I was just over there the other day and talked to Bobby. It's an unknown name up there. Kelly, you went up there and put some gravels on the cemetery for us. It was nice. But you're also on there. And we're just asking you guys to see
What do
if
you
you
mean,
could...
I'm also on there?
We had some gravels put up on the cemetery and the county roads on our private drive. I talked to you about that, and you said, no, we don't own it. You took some gravels up there, and they must have put you on there. So I would like for the county road and Becca Lane to get off in our right-of-way, if there's any way possible that you guys could help me. I've been in court, out of court. I have my deeds.
What's the court say? What's the court?
They're not saying anything about my private drive. They let Lisa and the gas company come up around there because they said I waited too long to get it in court, which that's okay, but I just want my private drive back. I want my private drive back. I want that name off of my private drive. My brother and I and my cousin went up there and put private signs up there, and we don't want to get out of there till they've got them down. And I want that off in there, and I want the county road off in there, and I want to private, because people's up here taking land. They're taking, and when they get in there and they start doing little things like that, like she had a Beacon Lane put on there, she's gonna eventually, because she's giving people easements to come up there. She gives somebody easement to come up there and put a gas line and a big valve up on a cemetery, up on graves now, mind you. Decorated graves, and they put that valve up there, and I've got pictures here to prove it. And nobody don't seem to want to do nothing about it. I went to Keena's priest, I don't know at the times. Keena's Manor, at numerous of times, I've come to you, Kelly, and I don't want no trouble. I just want to ask you guys if you could please give me back our right-of-way where we can get our loved ones in and out up to the cemetery and stop Lisa Staten from giving people easements to come in there. That ain't right. It's not right. If you got a driveway, I couldn't give nobody easement to come in on your right-of-way. And she did. I've got the paper right here to prove that she did it. She signed it. Her and Leonard Staten both signed and gave the gas company an easement to come up around that cemetery.
I don't know that this is county road or not.
We'd have to know if
It's up there on 665
645.
and 40. 645.
Mouth of Coldwater.
Yeah, it's Mountain Coldwater.
It's a James Cemetery.
Yeah, I know where it's at. Mike, do you know if that's in our county road system or not?
What?
Yeah, I went to bid.
It's,
I ain't never worked and no road, so I don't know.
It's not a county road.
so if it's not a county road, it wouldn't come under the head of our business.
Well, I went over and got this off the box, and it says no name. Well, it didn't have no name because it's supposed to be James Cemetery Road. We just never did put the road on there because we used it for going to the cemetery. Well, Lisa and Leonard lives out in the back. We let them use the right-of-way, which they moved in on their property. Blankenship lived there. She lived there for years. She never did give us no problem.
She's got a right-of-way up there.
And she's got a right-of-way to get in and out, and Lisa's got another right-of-way to go around the back. So we didn't say anything about her using the right-of-way. We don't care if she uses the right-of-way. But she's giving people easements to come up around there, and they're taking property, and she's getting money. And she also, when the state or anybody comes in and works on the right-of-way, which we don't ask them to, they don't ask us, she has them to do it, and she gets the money. Water company went in up there about, what, 2 years ago, 3? Put a lift station, went across our bridge, up on our right-of-way, went down there and put a lift station down there for her because she was the one that wanted it. We didn't say anything about that, but the water company shouldn't have went up on there without an easement. Water company also went up there and put big round pipes that big through our cemetery, right straight through our cemetery, so Lisa could have water. What's with this, guys? What's with these people sitting back and letting people do what they want to in this table? Now, I come up here and I read your newspapers. I come up here, I talk to people. People shouldn't try to take people's land and do them like that. I'm not out for money, and I'm not out to hurt nobody. When they start hurting me, then I'm going to fight back. And I have come to this here, and Keena's Maynard told me, he said, I'll take care of this. Numerous of times I have come up here, made trips up here from Columbus, Ohio, go talk to him, and he
Let the Lord take care of it.
let the Lord take care of it, exactly what he says. Let God take care of it. Now, this ain't right, guys. This is not right.
I have a hard,
Hey Kelly, you know me, most of you guys know me, all of this county. Everybody in this county knows me well, and they love me to death. I have a big construction company. John is my cousin. His aunt, Martha Jane Harmon, is buried on that cemetery.
Well, good for her. I hope she rests in
It's my great-grandmother. But you know, all you guys know me. But I'm gonna tell you something. They drilled through our cemetery with a pipeline. Chesapeake Gas Company came up our right-of-way without James's easement. No, James has given no easement. Lisa and Leonard gave an easement. They went up our right-of-way on our cemetery, dug up 2 or 3 or 4 graves, went around our cemetery 300 foot on top of, where we could have extra graves. And we can't get a thing done. Every lawyer we've hired in the state of Kentucky has quit on us.
No, you can't get a lawyer in Kentucky.
We
guys.
cannot get nobody.
If you're
Everyone we get quits
If
on
you're
us.
after anybody's got the money here in this town, I don't care how much money you got, you don't touch these people. Because
Well-
I have went after them
And-
and I have
and
spent
listen.
money, and I have spent money.
The last lawyer we got down in Hillman, Kentucky, Jerry Wicker, he quit on us, but he had a meeting with the gas company lawyer, Leonard and Lisa,
Not over here in this.
and then they invited us, and Dave Preston was conflicts of interest set on the case, and he didn't even supposed to sit on the case. And he says, done. He
Yeah,
says it's
and
over.
And I've got every bit of the paperwork with me. If
We've been
anybody, I've
fighting
got
this
pictures,
forever.
I've got pictures. If anybody'd like to see the pictures, what they've done up there.
This court, guys,
I
You
put
know,
up
you're
signs
telling-
and they turned down.
this court can't help you. We cannot
You
overrule
cannot.
Judge
You're-
Preston or any judge.
We don't care about the judge. I don't care about the judge. I don't care about no one. All I'm asking you guys to do, take in consideration to get these names off in our right of way so we can have our right of way back. I don't care about the judges. I don't care about no one. I just want my right of way back. I want that Lisa, Becca Lane off in there.
I don't know that we have an easement on it. I don't know if the county has
You
that.
don't have an easement on that cemetery. Nobody has.
Well, how
an
can I give you anything back that I don't have?
But it says on
We own our deeds, we
it,
own
said
it.
on the survey.
We have deeds.
We got deeds,
I've got a
Kelly.
survey,
We
I've got a
own that.
survey too, Kelly. I've got the survey, I had it surveyed, I've got deeds, I've showed.
We're not
numerous-
saying that you don't own it. We're saying that we have no right because we don't have no
What
easement
about
on it.
that,
The county
what
don't.
is the name of the, 911 call, what's the name that put it up there?
Right.
Oh, you talk about,
If we don't have an
Lee.
easement on it, we ain't gonna do with it.
Yeah, and I
Did the
don't know
county
Bobby.
put the sign up there you're talking about?
Lee goes,
Yeah, Lee, but the
Lisa
sign
got
up
him
there,
to put up a sign says Rebecca Lane, named it after her daughter.
he called her and she said the name of the road was Rebecca Lane. It's not. I don't even know Rebecca Lane. And then I talked to Bobby, and Bobby said it's not on record over there, so somebody's pulling.
He says it's
the name.
upstairs. He said it has to be upstairs.
Has to be upstairs.
We
And I
need to
went,
let it go down there and see if we got a right of easement on that. If we don't, we have no right to take a sign down or put one up, and we ain't got no right to be on the road. If we don't have an easement on it, we're not even supposed to be on it.
Easement illegal, what Kenneth Maynard told me.
Well,
It's gotta have to be adopted in the county road plan, like we just adopted him a while ago.
And if that's not been adopted in, then
If
it's
it
not
ain't been
county.
adopted in, there ain't nothing we can do.
there's nothing we can do.
See, we own the bridge and the road.
you mean, let me
Yeah,
ask you
there's
this.
landlocked on both
If
sides
we,
of the
if we
state.
own it and you can't do nothing,
If it ain't a county road, it ain't nothing we can do.
We don't have no
well, the
authority.
We
911
have no
call is
authority.
on it. It's got a name on it. Can't the 911 take that name off in there? Can't you guys take it off?
Put up the 911 number.
Yeah, put the James 911 number up there, I don't care. I got James Cemetery Road, Lee went up there and put one on there. It's also known as Rebecca Lane. It's not, it's not, and she don't even have a deed for it.
And it's not a county road, and county road is listed on it.
Yeah.
Kelly knows it's not a county road. Janet Maynard, when she worked for the county,
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If we don't have an easement on it, there's not a thing we can do. I don't think.
Well, there's not an easement on it, but what could anybody do to get it off in there?
Tear it down.
Put a gate up, right?
I don't know about that now.
Yeah,
No, don't go that far,
You guys
John.
are the smart people sitting up there. You're
Do what?
supposed to be smarter than me.
Well, I can't see you until you put a
Couldn't
gate
I
up.
put a
I don't
gate
know
up
whose
there?
land, I mean, you say it's yours, I don't know.
Okay, now
I
what
mean, I
law's gonna
believe
come
you,
up there
but,
and tell me to take my gate down?
huh?
What law's gonna come up there and tell me to take my gate down?
Oh, he's sitting back there, asked him.
You're not gonna tell me to take my gate down.
Love you, y'all.
I tell you one thing,
listen, guys,
I know what you're saying, but I mean, this killing is trying to tell you, if we don't have an easement on that, there's not a thing we can do about it.
If it's not county right
If
away,
it's not
we
county
can tell
right away,
them.
we
We
Okay,
can
it's
tell
county
them.
right away right now, because county said, he's got his name on it, so the county's got their name on it right now. And they shouldn't have it
Yeah.
on there, so
It
they need to
says
take it
county,
off.
it
If you
says,
can't do
Becker
anything
Lane.
about it, get that county off in there. And the 911 needs to get a Becker Lane over in there, because it don't belong to 911 either. So don't they work over here at the courthouse in
You
the
need to
office
get Joey
somewhere?
go down there and check his books and if he ain't on
I'm
there.
just asking to get it taken off. I'm not asking for nothing else. I'm just asking for that county road to be taken off in that private drive and a Becker Lane get taken off in that 911 call. That, I will tell you guys something right now. They keep it on there. I know the county won't. But if Lisa keeps that on there, on down the road, she's gonna own that. And I know that too. I mean, I was born and raised in Kentucky, so I'm a Kentucky girl, and I know what goes on in Kentucky. Believe me or not, I do.
Hey, John,
Later on,
you
she's
got a
gonna
runway
own it.
going to your house?
No,
You don't?
I got my driveway.
Driveway?
I gotta get to the house.
Well, it's the driveway to, like on our cemetery, going to your house. If you want to put you up a gate and don't want nobody traveling that, going up to your house, you can do it, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
Well, that's
We're
your
gonna put up a
priority.
gate. Now, Lisa Leonard could go out the backside of that because that's their right of way. It's in the deeds. My cousin, John Kirk, the lawyer, sold that to him. And he was gonna cut a road through the backside.
Because that was
It's
his
in my
right.
mommy's deeds and my Aunt Sally's deeds to go out that way when my grandfather died. And the front was for the cemetery only, use.
Well, if somebody lived in the front there, they could use that right.
Yeah, like John Crum lived there and Peggy Blankenship. And Jim Booth owns land there,
My
but with Jim
grandfather,
Booth is
and my
there.
grandfather gave you easement on that right of way, if you lived there, to help maintain the right of way and the bridge.
See, when the state bought all that, they landlocked everything. We're the only one that owns that right of way now. Only one, the James is there. Now, my cousin, Jim Booth owns a piece of property there, belongs to Mountain Enterprise, not Mountain Enterprise, but RJ Enterprise. Now, Jim Booth, we let him travel. But, listen, Leonard and Lisa, they don't right to travel that right away. They just make themselves at home, and all the friends going in and out. Up,
We've
trucks
never said
turning
nothing
asphalt
about it.
up, everything. Big old trucks going in there, concrete trucks. That's no good.
And we didn't care. We didn't care I don't care who travels the right of way. But when they get in there and they start taking it and giving people easements,
Have you been to big court over this with Lisa?
my lawyer was over at Big Court, but we weren't invited.
What did
to
they
go.
say? What did the
We-
judge
they
say?
said
They didn't even let us know they had a hearing on that.
But what did they tell you?
They didn't tell us
They just
nothing.
sent
The
her a
lawyer
letter.
said that
Said,
Lisa and the state said we waited too long to get it in court. And that was probably the truth. We waited too long to get Lisa in court because we couldn't get an attorney to get Lisa in court because of Leonard being an attorney.
Ma'am, what, I work for Keenest Maker. My name's Lynette Muncy. And from what I understand, and I don't know that I understand everything as well as you probably presented it to Mr. Maker, but the first thing that this fiscal court would need to do would be to look to see if this is a county road. I don't know if they know actually or not. So that's the first step we have to take. If it is, we can't just give property back. There are ways that we have to, you have to have people go up, there are procedures to closing a road and giving something back. I'm not saying that it is, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but that if it is a road, we can't just deed it to you because there are requirements in the statute. Secondly, if this has been through circuit court with Judge Preston, I couldn't advise you or advise the fiscal court what to do about this until and unless we have looked at the records. Now, everything that Judge Preston does is public record. You can go through it, you can hire, any number of attorneys, or you can get copies of it, or you can get it online under KentuckyCourts.net. I'm just telling you, this is all available. If you'll let me speak for a second, I was gracious with you. I can't tell them to do something and not know the facts. But what I think that it would be advisable for you to do is for you, the circuit clerk's office will be open from 8 until 4 tomorrow. And you can get the whole file, you can watch the video and that. And then you can talk to an attorney who can see if there were people who should have been notified to be part of a suit. And I can't tell you that that happened or that it didn't happen. But there are things that you can look at or you can take from the public record and look at it and take it to an attorney to say, oh, these are the people who were notified. And even in Kentucky, we have like warning order attorneys, so that if you can't find someone, there are attorneys appointed to represent the people who should be here, like an unknown spouse or something like that. So you probably need to speak with an attorney to see if there's something that you can do about that. But right now, I can't advise the court and I can't advise you on what to do except to talk to an attorney. And beyond that, I can't give the court any advice. I don't know if the road's in the system. I don't know what Judge Preston said. I don't know the lay of the land. But if there's a cemetery, that certainly complicates things. So if you would just perhaps maybe come back tomorrow morning, get the whole copy. You can get a copy of the video of everything. They'll print it out for you because it's a special DVD kind of thing. But all of that's public. Please get that and take that to an attorney who can help you. And there are people who you may need to go to Pikeville or Ashland or someplace, that would make you comfortable. But right now, tonight, I wish there was something I could do to help fix it, but there's nothing. There's nothing this court can do, and there's nothing I can do or to advise them to do until we know.
I understand what you're saying, and I've tried 6 years to do exactly what you're telling me to do, and I've done everything through the court. I've done everything to attorneys. I've even been here trying to talk to 911 call there. I've done everything you just said to do. I've done everything legal, and they keep pushing me back in the corner. I've even went over here and they said, take it to fiscal court. Bobby just told me the other day, take it to fiscal court. So you can see where I'm standing at, because I can't get an attorney. They fold up on me. Every time I mention Lisa or Leonard's name, they just fold up on me.
You just need to go farther away, and it costs.
Oh, I did. I had one from Columbus, Ohio. And he had it right. He had it, but he got killed on a fishing trip. But
if one will take it, somebody else will.
now, I understand what you're saying,
But we can't take care of
but
it.
why can't the fiscal court see that the names that's on the right of way, why can't they do something about that? Because they know county roads on the right of way.
Kelly and the Masters and Kenneth Maynard, they have a meeting with us. We'll discuss this in Kelly's office. And I know you guys can get something done by that name being on, and the county being on our right of way. We want it eliminated. We want it off. It belongs to us. It's in our deeds. Our grandfather, great-grandfather secluded all sales around that cemetery, to the right of way and the cemetery. Nobody was allowed to buy that. That belongs to us. And if we have to, I'm gonna go talk to Leonard. I love Leonard to death.
Yeah, I
Don't get
have
me
no
wrong. I
problem.
don't like his wife Lisa. She got on Jim Booth's property up there, put a bunch of junk cars, and Jim told her to get them off. She said, I own that. Jim said, I'll show you. He got a surveyor, surveyed it, staked it off. He said, now move them. He said, you're making this cemetery look ugly. And that's where Peggy lived. His sister Peggy lived there. But it seemed like they was trying to take over lock, stock, and barrel. They gave an easement to the gas company that was illegal. It was a false easement. That was a no-no. And they come in there and put that big 10-inch valve, dug up our graves, put a big valve there, went around our cemetery 300 foot, took up a bunch of grave sites. They told us if we got on that pipeline trying to clean that cemetery, they put us in jail.
Well, all I can tell you is
If you get on top of that pipeline,
if the county,
we'll put you in jail.
if the county has got an easement on there, and you don't want the county on there, I'm sure none of us have no problem with coming off there.
Thank you.
So if we're on there, but we don't know if we're on there or not, and that's all we can say about it. And, personally, we got other stuff to go on with, and I need to get out.
Yes, I had it surveyed. I had it surveyed about a year ago, and it says it on my survey, County Road and Abeka Lane.
known as Creek Road.
We'll check and see if it is a county road.
Yeah, we gave a surveyor down
County
in,
hand, I've come over there and showed you stuff on top of that. I didn't want no trouble, buddy. I don't want no trouble out of these people, because I live in Ohio. I come up here trying to get business taken care of. I mean, I didn't think like, back in my days, things like this didn't happen. I don't think that people try to take your land and give people easement, and they get the money, and it's not, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's not about money with me. I'm not like Keenan's mayor. I know where I'm going when I die. I don't know about the rest of them around here. And they think, hell, they think it's hot here some days, they wait till they get in the other place. It'll be a lot hotter.
Well,
And I said,
Okay,
if you can look into it, get the county road off in there, and I'll put a gate up across there, because I'm gonna tell you right now, and if sheriff wants to come out and arrest me, there I go, because I'll go to jail.
you hear that, John?
I'll be like the lady that wouldn't sign for them people
Don't
to
put
get
them on
married.
tap, John.
Get what? Oh, he's not going to.
You guys got that,
He ain't
septic
gonna
tank
bother you.
system over there? You guys gotta cross our bridge to get to that, you know that. You guys don't have an easement either. What we need to do is.
The water
work with
company
you all,
don't have
give
an
you guys
easement.
Or you're gonna have to build your own bridge. Cause you guys are down in the landlocked.
So if your graveyard needs gravel, you don't want us tossing your bridge gravel and nothing to fix it for a burial? Is that what you're saying? I said, what I said was, if we don't own that, and you don't want us to toss your bridge, then we ain't gonna toss your bridge when you need to work on your graveyard building, then we ain't gonna be allowed to come
Well,
over there.
see, we live across there with big concrete trucks to get down there to build that station. They damaged our bridge. We didn't say a thing about it. I could have shut it down at that time, but that construction crew got smart with me. They act like, hey, who are you? We do what we want to do. We come across that bridge, tear it up, we'll do it. Kelly knows where it's at.
Now, what did you say about the cemetery, if you can't get across there for what?
I said, if we don't have an easement on your road,
You don't.
then we can't come on it. And if your cemetery needs worked on it or needs
Oh,
gravel, we can't come
across
across it.
cemetery. I never asked the county to work on my
Well, I'm
cemetery.
just saying.
Well, I know you're just saying that, but I'm just telling
I
you.
want you
we
to be
never asked
aware
the
that
county
if
to
we
do
don't have an
nothing.
easement come on your
We
property,
never
you
asked
can't
them
come
to
on
cut
there
a
to help
tree,
you
we
do
never
nothing.
asked them to do nothing.
We don't have to, we maintained it ourselves.
Only
John.
thing we're
Okay.
asking the county to do is get the name off of it.
Well, I wish a lot of other people would be like you,
And get a Bethel
maintain
name
their
off
own
of it.
roads.
Just
Your
get those
great
two
aunt's
things
buried
off.
up there, son, and she's turned over in her grave. My great grandfather.
okay, we're gonna move on, guys. We just got a couple more things that I'd like to bring up. Linda.
Linda left.
Oh,
Linda had another meeting.
sorry. Guys, I think that it's come to a point in time that we probably need to have an audit of the work of the bar. I'll get with Linda and she'll give us a couple, 3 or 4 firms that we can contact to have an audit done. If that's y'all's pleasure. I mean, if you think that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should have.
you
I
put
would
that form
make
of
it.
motion, Gary make the motion.
I'll say,
All in favor?
Yes.
Anything else, guys, to come up?
I got one thing there. At the last court meeting, we hired Howie Moore full-time, and he's supposed to be in the dump truck that rotate, works one district each day in a row. We're so far behind, everybody thinks we're in front on our road work. And I think, I'd like to make a motion that tomorrow, they put Hoagie in that truck that rotates and not take him out of it
for anything.
for anything. He needs to be rotating. Well, I mean, if we got snows and stuff like that, he'll have to do something different, but on an ordinary basis, continue to rotate every day.
Gravel.
No gravel. Then also, since I've been magistrate several times, we've made the motion to go in district work 5 days, then move to the next, and it works much better that way than it does any other way. I understand if there's a death or cemetery road blocked, or main road blocked, we have to pull out and do that stuff. But I'd like to make a motion to, also add to my motion to, for put Hoagie on the truck, I'd also like to make a motion to work
You
5
wanna
days
put it in
in,
your motion?
in one motion, 5 days in and 5 days out.
Starting in District 4.
No, we
Now,
can't do that. But Gary, really, they started working for Gary this week, they've never worked for him none, because they've been out of district
They've
work.
been out of your guys' district.
I'm not complaining, Jerry, I'm just telling you.
So your motion is that you put Hogue in what he was hard for, rotate the gravel truck.
Right.
And go into 5 days in and out and nobody, unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Okay,
Second.
I'm all for that. I got a second. Let me say something. I'm all for that. I think that's the way it ought to be done. But now, I don't want you first calling me and say, hey, I gotta have this done. You know, unless it's
If
emergency,
it's emergency.
I ain't gonna do it.
But Kelly, I love you.
Okay, I love you too, John, but
Now, you know, we have to borrow weather, weather.
borrow it.
Yeah, right.
But my thing is, if we got bad weather, we send everybody to house.
Unless it snows, unless it snows.
Right. All in favor?
Nah,
Yes.
Motion to,
John.
I would like to bring something up
okay.
before you adjourn. About where we got the dumps closed on certain days, people piling their garbage up at the thing. I think we should come up with something, at least find $500. And
I make a motion to install camera system at each dump.
We've already got that.
I mean, they pick names out
We already got that
of
work.
the garbage,
Yeah,
but still don't get nothing done about it.
Well, I think that we dug a bunch of names out of trash, and the way I understand it is that we can't actually say we've seen them, so that's the camera system's gonna come in and on camera.
So we're definitely having camera systems at each of the transfer stations.
Starting out, we're gonna put it on. We've got a system on order that has 8 cameras with it. And 3 of them's gonna go over the trash stuff, 5 of them go to road bridge. We'll see how that works out. And then need to be, we'll put a camera system in Fortville. And maybe we can work with City Hall over there, because you have to have internet. You have
So
to-
we'll have internet access then, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing. These garbage dumps are open 5 days a week in Warfield Heights, right?
Yeah.
Mine's open 2 days a week, and I don't have a bit of problem.
Yeah.
My people don't throw garbage out. I got good people, though.
But think about this. Think about this. They have 1 trash transfer station in Johnson County, started out to open 8 to 4, 5 days a week. We have 13,000 people in this transfer.
Well, once we get the cameras up, then are we gonna find them?
Well, now that'd be up to Lynette.
I gotta say, in Warfield, in the beginning, when it was closed down, it was a slight problem, but
Get better.
it's a whole lot better now.
Well, it's some better over there.
People are running the table.
Some better, somewhat better.
I got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Hey, you forgot. Wait a minute.
Number 8. Yeah, on your agenda.
Oh, are you tabling?
Hold on the table now.
Table.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the table.